we got a great show today. One of the greatest vocalists on the planet.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
How you guys doing?
Good.
We're good.
Yeah, real good.
Right on, right on. So this makes this show, we're pre-taping, but today's my birthday, and I couldn't have asked for a better way to be able to talk to our guest today. And I'm totally psyched. Fred, you want to do the intro, my brother?
Of course, Vince, Jason, we are privileged. We've been privileged to interview some incredible singers over the past several years here on Creativity Talking. And tonight we continue that streak with our guest, Robin McAuley. He may be best known for his work with McAuley Shankner and the legendary Michael Shankner. Also a brief stint with Survivor, and most recent the supergroup Black Swan that includes Rob Beach, Matt Starr, and JEff Pilson, and of course his solo career. Robin has just released his fourth solo album, Soulbound, which was released yesterday on our friends at Frontier Music. And we here at Creativity Talking know it kicks ass. So we definitely got a lot to talk about. So let's please welcome to Creativity Talking, Robin McAuley.
All right.
Thumbs up, and thank you guys so much.
Hi, Robin.
Happy birthday, Vince.
Thanks, man.
I would have given you the day off, dude.
Normally, I don't work on my birthday, but certain things you got to make exceptions for. No problem.
Well, I see Fred's already got the beer out, so he's way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We got breaded pork tenderloin being made in the kitchen as we speak.
You know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
So,
right.
First of all, we wanted to congratulate you on the addition to your family that you have.
Oh, you guys. We're super excited. You know, we are. Thank you. We, my wife Gina and myself are first-time grandparents.
That's awesome, man.
And the little guy is, I think 6 weeks old this week. So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And he's the same star sign as I am. He's the same star sign as our two boys. So I couldn't have planned it better.
Right on. So I was watching an interview you did the other day, and I was really impressed about your praise for artistry. You're talking about album cover art, and you use the guy.
Yeah.
And is it secondary these days, or is it for some people it just doesn't matter? Because for all of us, I mean, that's your first impression of what's
right.
What's behind it,
if I think if I'm correct, I think. If you, I remember, in the good old days when you could go to the record store where there was television or whatever, and it was kind of an afternoon out. Excuse me for chewing. It was kind of an afternoon out to sift through all of the vinyl and most especially the covers. I mean,
absolutely.
The art long before. We had Photoshop and Illustrator and all of that stuff. It's all by hand. It's all real art, real illustrations. And it was just, there's so many. I mean, I could, you know who I'm talking about. It's just great stuff. Then you move into the digital age.
Yeah.
And these guys are able to combine the physical illustration and transform it into a digital format. And you get something completely new with a new attack on it and a different color palette. I mean, I'm talking about art. It just extends and it goes on. And I think, thank God, labels like Frontier's Music continue to make us, and I'll bring one up, they continue to make us vinyls. I just got mine the other day.
Right on.
Nice.
No, I just got mine the other day, so I'm going to show it off because
fantastic.
Right, and they don't stop there. They go in and they give you something completely different with the lighting. It's
nice, clear vinyl. Love that.
Right? So it's like super cool, and you can touch it, you can feel it, you can put it on your turntable. And you have it for a very long time. And I think it's just a great collector's piece if that's your bag, right?
Yeah, because it's part of the magic.
Yeah, so I have a huge amount of praise for the graphic artists. This guy here in particular, Nello Del Olmo was responsible for, with me being a pain in the ass, for the Standing on the Edge artwork, the Red artwork, and now on the Soulbound artwork. And then, of course, if I just jump over the fence to the Black Swan guys, Stan Decker does all the artwork there, and we're a pain in the ass there because Jeff and Reb will go, you deal with it, we'll deal with something else, but you deal with the artwork. I have a great sense for the art. I was a production artist myself for about 16 years.
Okay.
And I worked in a graphic arts department, and they were very, very, very talented, much more talented than me. So I think they deserve the praise. I think it's it's an extension of the music. It's an integral part of the whole thing. So yes, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, and what's really cool, Robin, as you go to your website, you're offering autographed copies of the album.
Yes,
which I ordered the other day, so I can't wait to get that. I love that idea of the artists signing some albums.
It's the least I can do. We talk, and we tell them where to go get the stuff, and the least I can do is just. And I have a really nice signature.
Which nobody nowadays does. I'm an autograph collector. I've been an autograph collector for 50 years. Some of this now is just scribble, and I go,
I call it the doctor's signature.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you saw mine, you'd think I went to medical school.
Like, what are you ordering here?
Yeah, we always push big time on Creativity Talking to go out and buy vinyl, buy CDs, buy the merchandise, because we know you guys don't make squat off downloads and streaming. So we always push, buy the vinyl, buy the merch, support these artists. That's how you guys survive.
Absolutely.
Super cool. And, you can get all your info. Let's take it to the next level. You can go over to Frontiers.
I'm so glad vinyl's back. I'm so glad.
One of my sons, my son who actually made us grandparents, he's been collecting vinyl for years. And he would go to all of the old, Amoeba in Hollywood. He just lived at the place. And some local, small sort of little indie little record stores that I don't know how they stay open, but they have stuff there that you're going, wow, really? Yeah. And he's got a ton of it. Plus, of course, my wife Gina, is Austrian. So those boys, as she was pregnant, they grew up, with Mozart and Bach and Beethoven pounding up her chest. So there's a ton of classical vinyl in our house.
Great.
And oh my God, it's great just to. It's on a Saturday morning when you're doing the chores, because everybody has a to-do list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stick something on the turntable and take a different route.
Follow classic music because it gives me great dreams. Like
I'm not even going to get into that, but I hope it works out. I hope it works out for you.
I have to admit, like one of my, and I'm kind of, forgive my stupidity, but when the streaming thing came around and I, like everybody downloaded, I had, hundreds of songs and this and that, and, purchasing these things or whatever.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me. Somebody said something on a radio show one day, and it never occurred to me that I didn't actually own the things that I was downloading, that should I not, keep subscribing, that all that would be gone. And I was horrified because I just assumed that it was mine.
Yeah.
I thought, no, I have to now I need to buy vinyl. I have to actually have physical copies.
When you download, if you put it on step and repeat, if you put it on, next up, you don't actually see anything. You can't touch anything.
Right.
You're just in a rotation format.
Yeah.
I always used to think it's just great. Which one will I play next? Pick it up and turn it around, and it's just a different process. I think you have to be there. You have to want to do that. Some people are just flavor of the week and they don't care. Download it.
Right. Yeah.
I used to have not used to. He's still a friend of mine, and he would go to true story. He would go to places like Blockbuster. He would go to places like Tower Records, and he'd buy a CD of something that he heard. Gotta listen to this, and he would take it home, and damn it to hell, he would copy it onto another machine, another media, and then take it back to the store and tell them he didn't like it. And he would start the whole process again. And I used to, excuse me, but I used to give him shit for it because they're going, you know what you're doing.
Right.
Do you know? He goes, you want a copy? I went, no, I don't want it.
Yeah, it's like those 12 other people. And
yes, and that was at a time when you actually couldn't download it. So he would go and buy the physical copy. He never actually bought it, if you think about it. He might buy one copy and end up with 10 different kinds of CDs because he would keep giving it back after he made copies. And he wasn't alone. Everybody was doing it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then you had the double, this is going back, but you had the double cassette machines. Mm-hmm. You could record CD to cassette.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't really blame streaming too much. We can't really blame downloading too much because people were doing it forever.
Yeah. And it's convenient. It's convenient.
Yeah, same thing, different skin.
Yeah.
But you know what's really crazy in this world of technology we live in now is baseball cards now, where you used to go to the store, buy a pack, and you have a physical card in your hand. Now it's all digital. You buy a pack digital and you have these cards digital. So you'll have like 1,000 cards on your phone digital, but you don't physically have them.
Wow.
And people trade and sell them for big money. It's like, I don't get that. I want to hold my baseball card. I don't want it on my phone, but that's the world we are in right now.
Well, I think the houses and the apartments got smaller. There's not enough room on the walls.
Yeah. Your mom can't throw out your baseball collection if it's in your phone, I guess.
Wall space is expensive property.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've always had one of the best voices in rock, period, in my opinion, and always stood out. And when I was singing, you were one of the guys that I looked up to because you stood out from everybody else. And you always seemed very friendly, good guy, family guy. And as over the years, reading more about you and what's going on, and total family guy. And you're always just a good dude. And the other thing that really struck me is your appreciation for your buddy, JEff Pilson.
Oh my God. He's the man.
Yeah.
That guy, he needs more hours in the day with his workload.
Oh dude, he is
unbelievable.
He's insane. And yet when it's my turn to walk into the studio, he's on 12. He's constantly on 12, and there's plenty of time. I'm surprised if we actually get anything done because as soon as we get in there, we're like, and we're just yakking away, and he goes, shoot, we have to do this. We have to get on with this. And it's never been different with me. And Jeff and I go back so far.
Yeah.
You know, he was with us on the Unplugged, MSG Unplugged.
Yep.
He was best man at our wedding. Love his family, love his daughter, love his wife, you know.
Yeah.
And he's good people.
Yeah.
And I love to surround myself with good, no BS people. We have a little catchphrase within the Black Swan family. We always say there is no BS in Black Swan.
Great band, great music, by the way. We've covered Black Swan. We've covered.
Thank you. Number 3 is in the can, ready for mixing.
That was my next question.
Nice. Yeah. In fact, Reb and I were conversing this morning via email because we were trying to come up with the track listing. Yeah. And Reb came up with something really great, and he goes, "You know what, dudes? If somebody tells me to watch like a Netflix movie, and they go, dude, you got to watch this, especially take it all the way to the end because that's the best part." And he goes, "I kind of won't watch it because I want it to come right out the gate at me. Why save the good wine till last?" Famous man once said that, right?
Yeah.
and so he started going. He goes, "This is how I would do it. Just take what I think is the strongest." Because he goes, it's hard to have like 11 powerhouses, but he says they're all great, and I could put them in any order, but I want to just come at you. I want to get it all now. I don't want to wait till the middle. I don't want to wait till the end. Give it to me now. And I went, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because I was toying with, should we lead with this one? Should we lead with that one? Should we flip flop them? Should we put that in third place? And he goes, just throw it at the fan, and it'll spit it right back at you. And I went, I'm in.
Good enough.
And so, yeah, so we're super excited about the third one. You know, this will actually with 3 Black Swans and 3 Frontier solos, that would make 6 records for me with Frontiers in about 4 years. And I'm thinking,
Nice.
Yeah, you've been on a tear.
was that even possible? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Tear.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I know everybody in the band. You guys are so
vocal.
busy with other projects. Is there ever any talk about taking the band on the road?
Oh God, there's talk about it all the time. And it's just, it's only that. It's talked, and Reb goes, you know, KDB. Yeah. And then Jeff goes, and I'm really busy. And Matt goes, and I don't know where I am. And and so there's an interesting little sort of an online chit-chat going on right now, especially on Facebook, because I am scheduled to play the Frontiers Rock Festival April 27th, which is the last day of the 3-day festival. And Winger will open the festival or close the festival on the first day, on the Friday. And Matt will be there, I think, on the Saturday. So everybody's going, wait. Matt and Rev and Robin, Jeff is missing. Are we missing something? Is there going to be some sort of there's 2/3 of Black Swan. Is the other guy going to come in, and is there going to be something? And I'm going, well, I hope they tell me, because, you know, I'd like to sort of listen to the songs and make sure I don't.
Don't get surprised, right?
It would be super cool. I always did say right from Shake the World, I think the best scenario for us would have been to get on some good festivals. So you have, I always repeat myself, a lot of people in the same place at the same time, and then you do one big job for all, as opposed to going out and trying to get into clubs and trying to reach something that you don't really know.
Yeah.
You know, if it's reachable or not. But if you play the festivals, you could get hopefully a decent enough slot that would introduce the band to a mass amount all at once. Right. So fingers crossed on that. I know Winger is kind of Winger, I think, is winding down this year, 2025.
Yeah.
Foreigner are about to start the wind down. Jeff did say to me in the studio, you know, Reb's going to be calling you, right? Because he's going to want something to do. Because I'm not sure if Whitesnake will sort of rev up the engines again either. So it's a great idea. I don't know if Reb is on the Monsters of Rock cruise. I'll be there in like 9 or 10 days time with MSG. Monsters cruise. And then I have most of August in the UK. I have Germany, I have Sweden, and I have Spain, and I think we're going to add some to Italy after the Frontiers Rock Festival.
Nice.
I will have the whole band that's on the studio on stage with me, which I'm super excited about. So it would be a shame to just come in and rehearse and not take it a few steps.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of Italy, so we reacted to Till I Die. And the guitar work is fantastic.
Yeah, so thank you for that, because Andrea Cerveso needs that sort of recognition, in my opinion.
It's like we had to stop and we're like, wait a minute. Listen to what's going, because we're listening to you, and we're doing our thing, and we're like, whoa. Back up.
You know, when Alessandro Del Vecchio first introduced me to him on the Standing on the Edge record, I went, whoa, I just love this kid. And I sort of claimed him as my own. Of course, he does lots of other stuff, you know.
Right.
But I sort of laid claim to him. And I went, he has to be on the Alive record. And he goes, no, he wants to be on the Alive record. So he moved up to the Alive record, and then we come to Soulbound, and same kind of setup, same kind of format, except Alessandro and I spoke a lot, and I went, I really need to push him up front and center. I want to hear that guitar more than I have on the previous 2 records. And so he got involved more with the writing on this one than he did. And like you, as soon as Till I Die, the music hit my desk, I went, ha, this is just
Yeah, it's markedly different.
And I was just like, I was so fired up, and I went, oh my God, this will be the lead off track. And the whole cowboy thing was, I was actually listening to Motorhead's Ace of Spades. Filthy, Filthy was a dear friend of mine. And I was looking at the Ace, talking about art again. I was looking at the Ace of Spades cover with Motorhead. And I went, I love that dirty outlaw look. I always did. And I went, and so I spoke to the video producer and videographer, and I said, hey, dude, I've got this idea, kind of like channel some Motorhead. And he goes, yeah, I can see you do that, right? Okay, next.
Yeah, that was actually in my notes that you had that Lemmy vibe going. So
well, I showed up in my my wannabe cowboy, and we were out in the middle of the desert. It was fiercely windy. I kept losing my hat. We kept running across the fields after the stupid hat. But the more we did it, the more fun it was, and we started creating with the lighting and everything, because we worked light to dark just to capture that sort of event throughout the day, and then into the cabin at the end of the video. It was just kind of a Quentin Tarantino kind of a vibe. What the hell is going on here? What is he running from? Will he ever get there? Will he ever get caught? And we just wanted to create that thing. My son Casey said to me, he goes, Dad, they actually made you run? I said it was either that or get on a horse, and I wasn't going to do that. And so I'm running behind the Jeep with the camera, and I'm going, how further do I? Come on, dude, just a little further. And those bastards just wouldn't stop that Jeep. It was like, yeah.
That's funny, because when I was watching it in my head, I'm like, they have him running?
They have me running.
Like, just period, anybody,
That was about 10 o'clock in the morning, just so you know, too. And I'm going, once I have my coffee, you bastards, I will catch up. Speaking of coffee, cheers, Fred.
Yeah.
Cheers. So speaking of videos, my question is, I got it here somewhere. Do you like making videos, or you just find it a necessary evil that has to go along with the music?
I love making videos. So I hate photo shoots. I hate photo shoots. And I dislike greatly performance videos. I hate the whole, okay, here's the stage, these are the lights, look at the camera. I hate that. I've done a trillion of them. I never liked any of them.
Right.
But I love the idea of the creation of the sort of the mini movie.
Yeah.
When we did the whole running and the desert scenes and all that sort of stuff. And we had this great location that I actually used in a different part of the location for Standing on the Edge video. And when it came to the, what would be to capture the vocal parts, Eric said, so you want to do a performance? And I went, no performance. And I said, I'll be in the cabin and I'll sing if I want. And if I don't, it'll still tell the story, and I'll just come in and out. Right. And I wanted to be more sort of mini movie thingy, without looking at the camera all the time.
Right.
We captured the moment like it's like there's nobody there, there's just me. And we wanted to do it with that sort of a movie type feel to it. And I think we captured that. So to answer your question, it isn't necessary evil. I think people like to attach something with the music. I prefer to do it that way than just, the on stage thing. I just hate that stuff.
Yeah.
And I've worked on a ton of music videos, and it's very stressful for the band usually to come in, because they may only have a day or 36 hours in between what they got to do. Yeah. And the last thing they want to do is like do 18 hours.
I know, the same shot. I know. Yeah. And I didn't care if I lost the hat. I didn't care, if the hair was out here or wherever. We wanted to make it sort of dusty and real. That's really what I was after. And no disrespect to everybody else on the Frontiers label. they have a tendency to do more of the same. It's like always the performance, whether it's out in the middle of a field or a desert or up in a mountain or whatever it is,
Right.
but there's always the performance, full band on shot.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the solo artist. I can get up in a tractor. It's just me, and you don't have to worry about 2, 3, or 4 other individuals or who's going to be bitching because I've done it too many times, or I need
Yeah, and with
or I need to take a break, or
yeah,
or I want my mommy or whatever.
well, and with the budgets now for music videos, it's really impressive to see what people do with it, because it's all
That's an excellent point.
all their creativity. Like you can do that, but for that amount of money, you can also do that.
You can, and Eric Bodilla is the video director. Enzo Mazio does all the photos, and he has a 2-camera crew, and he's got great direction. He's got great insight. He has a vision. He knows exactly what's going to happen because of a shot, and he's all the time. Every time he does a run, he shows me. He goes, "You like that angle? You like this angle? You like that lighting?" And it happens like this. It's not dragged out. It's not glorious, and we have a huge amount of fun with it.
That makes all the difference. Yeah,
and that's what keeps us pedaling throughout the day. We're going, oh, dude, just there was an old truck that you don't see in the video. It was an old GMC. I think it's, oh my God. I mean, when I say old, and he goes, climb up on that truck and see how it feels. Okay. So I climbed up on the truck, and he goes, no, I mean up onto the roof, right? And these things are like tanks, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it was now evening, and the sun was going down, and then I didn't jump. I climbed with difficulty up onto the roof of this old GMC, and of course, because it's been there for years, it goes boom, and it almost sank like a rotten mattress on the roof. So what was flat to begin with is now I'm in a hollow.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff that we got up to, and you try to make it translate as much as possible, and then when people watch it, you go, "What the hell is this all about?" McAuley's now wearing a cowboy hat.
It worked. It worked. It was a good video. It worked for sure. So I want to bring up the new album before we get away, because sometimes we have artists on and we forget to talk about the new album because we get talking about everything else. So I just want to talk about the new album, Soulbound, which I mentioned earlier. It was released yesterday on Frontiers. It's definitely a little bit more guitar driven and edgier hard rock compared to your previous albums. This one also features the guitarists you mentioned, Andrea Cerveso and Alexandro Mamola.
Excellent.
Mamola. And
Awesome.
first time you worked with the producer Aldo Lonabile, who also plays bass on the album.
Aldo Lonabile.
I looked him up on eBay on Google, and the guy's got an incredible musical resume.
Oh yeah, and he's a great guitar player and a great bass.
Yeah. So what was going into this? What was the musical approach to creating this album?
Just like it sounds. We wanted to bring the edge on this one. I wanted to really feature Andrea more on this record. Aldo came in, first time we've worked together. He's the new guy over at Frontiers. And I talked to him, and he goes, "Oh, absolutely." He says, "I play guitar." He goes, I'm a kind of a shredder." He said to me that's exactly what he said. And I said, I do work with a very famous guitar player, Michael Schenker. Not many people know of him.
Maybe you've heard of him.
Yeah, right. And then he brings in Alessandro Mamola, and then he has Andrea Cerveso, and I'm not going to make too many mistakes here with these guys. Then he brings in Alfonso Masserino on drums. It's an absolute powerhouse. He's a very, very well-known drummer in the Milan area. And he got him on the record, and then there's some keys on there from Antonio Agate, and we just let it rip. Soulbound as a track is really the one that stands out as being a little bit different. I didn't write that track. It came to my desk. I really liked the music. I liked the melody. Teresa Persson from Sweden, bless you, and Jan Ackerson from Sweden wrote the track. I got it, I heard it, I liked it. I re-recorded it to see how I would sound on it.
Right.
Aldo loved it, and he goes, "Yeah, it has a lot more edge. This is great." And I said, I love the title, and I've got some ideas for the art already, and I think that's the direction I'd like to take the whole thing. And off we went. We purposely wanted to give it a lot more edge and a lot more in your face.
Right.
Aldo did a slamming job. He did a great job. Yeah.
So you mentioned you'll be touring a little bit later this year. Is the guys on the album the same guys that'll be touring with you? You're taking them on the road with you?
We will do a bunch of the European shows because Aldo is extremely busy out touring, as are the rest of the guys. So great question. I played Sweden maybe 3 weeks ago. I played in Gothenburg, and there's a band in Gothenburg that you can find them all over YouTube. They're called Gathering of Kings, an amazing band. And their manager introduced me to the show, and the band goes, "Please tell them we have to be the band." And as a result of that one show, now we have about another 4 or 5, because they're a bunch of young guys who were totally into the McAuley Schenker period.
Yeah.
And when I got into the studio and we started playing that stuff, I went, damn, this sounds like it just came out. It was like really fresh. It was really powerful, and they absolutely nailed it. And then we got to the solo stuff, and they nailed it even more. We even went back into the Grand Prix days and dug some of those out, and they nailed it. And they nailed that. So we have a bunch of shows coming up on that part of Europe. The band on Soulbound will do more of the Italy and Spain shows, and then I have another band in the UK that will deal with the month of August for the UK shows, and that's the same band that I used for Firefest Festival in October. So I am seriously blessed with being surrounded by just amazing.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, there's been a few, more than a few albums lately that have come out, and they have these Italian guitar players on there and Italian musicians that are just
unbelievable.
Like where were these guys for the?
They're not shabby.
And
I love to, if it's even possible for me to do it, I love to give them all of the recognition that they absolutely deserve.
Oh,
and I don't care if they want to play on the record. If you want to play, you play. I'm not going to, I'm not going to edit your solo just because I need the song to be 4 minutes long or something. Yeah, amazing talent, just amazing talent.
There's another talented individual that you praise frequently, and that's Andy Zuckerman.
Andy is my, I love laying claim. Andy has been my engineer on all 3 records now for Frontiers. I was introduced to Andy via Jeff Scott Soto. And Jeff and I have known each other for a trillion years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he said, give Andy a call. I've done a lot of vocals with Andy. I think you're going to love it. You'll be off and running. And I met Andy, and here we are, record number 3. He goes, it's so cool. He has a studio called Institute of Noise, LA. And I like to tell people what's funny going in with Andy is I have all the songs prepped. I know what I'm going to be doing. We decide with the record label how many tracks we're going to be recording, and then they send Andy all of the stems. So Andy gets all of the stems, he has it all broken down. He has it set up, but he has no idea what the vocals are going to be doing. So because he doesn't get the demo. And so he goes, obviously this is the intro, but where's the verse and where's the pre-chorus and where's the chorus and is there a bridge? So then we have to map it out. And that's always really so much fun to do that, because we basically go in and, we set it up in, Google, like, we have to get some directions from the beginning to the end of the song. But that said, I don't spend any more than about 2 hours on a track from start to finish, all the lead vocals, including all the background vocals. And as Andy said to me right from the get-go, if you don't get it in 2 hours, you go home. because now you're just, you're trapped in the woods.
Screaming in.
Chasing it.
Yeah. And that's how we feel. So very important to be prepped going in, know what you're doing. No time wasting in the studio.
Yeah.
So what do you do for vocal health?
Oh, I have a little thing called a vocal mist. But yay big, just hydrating. I use it like I drink water. It just keeps everything hydrated, nasal, sinuses, throat, the vocal cords especially. Very important to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
I use that a lot, and then most of the time when I'm working, I don't speak.
No extra talking. Yeah.
And whispering is really bad for your voice too. In case nobody ever told you that, because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I never heard that.
Yeah, it's very bad because now you're trying to push a sound through. You think you're like saving your voice, but you're actually putting more strain on your vocal cords because now you're trying to push more air through to be heard.
Wow.
Not a good idea. You can speak a little bit quieter, but the best thing is vocal rest.
Is no talking.
Yeah.
That's
As
interesting.
much rest as you can, as much
And
as
it's a very rare thing. Your range has expanded.
Oh yes, I can sing pretty high.
That doesn't happen, Robin.
Yeah, it has. It has. I don't know why. But I'm my wife would attest to it. I can think myself into being ill. I can think myself into having a cold. I can think myself into having a bad throat because I stress myself out because it's never good enough. And, it's my instrument. It's all I have. So I have a responsibility to take care of it. And
and a lot of people don't understand that. And how many people aren't performing anymore that can't, or how many people are still performing that?
Yeah. Well, I don't. I love a good bourbon. A good bourbon, but I can't have alcohol and perform. And I don't mean just on the night or just pre-show. If it's a month, if it's a 6-month tour, whatever it is. It's
you have to train like an athlete.
It's out. It's gone. It's out.
Yeah.
When I'm done, and the stress is off, and like, give me that damn bottle. Yeah.
All right. So, me and Fred are from Chicago, so of course we have to bring up Survivor, and
because you can't hold back. Oh, sorry.
Nice.
You just fed me that one.
That was right. They threw it right over the plate.
Toss it up.
Great time in my Survivor years, I met Frankie in, I think, 94. John Kalodna over at Geffen Records.
Right.
It'd be a great idea if we got together and wrote some songs. So we did. And nobody wanted to hear it because the whole grunge Seattle thing happened.
Right.
And the alternative music happened. And
right.
everything that was and thought it was classic rock was see ya.
Right.
Very strange.
They put us out to graze, so we were grazing for a lot of years. And I did a lot of tribute records in that time. I got a real job as a graphic artist. My kids were born, and in 2006, my kids were born in 99. 2006, my phone, my emails were going crazy, getting all of this stuff from the Survivor camp. And my wife was going, "Did you ever answer those emails?" And I went, "Nope, I know what he wants. I know what he wants." Anyway, we know the story. I went to Chicago. I sang about 30 songs, and I think 4 days later, we were on a big festival opening up for Eddie Money. And I think there was like almost 30,000 people, and I was
welcome back.
I was clueless. I had no idea what I was doing. So Chris Grove was on keys at the time, who went on to play with Eddie. God rest his soul. And I would always tell Chris, if I can just place all of the lyrics to all of the songs on top of your keyboards, and as we hit a new song, just flip the page, because once I see the opening line, I'll have some semblance of what's going on. But I was clueless about the endings. I had no idea what was going on. And 6 years later, I had a good idea what was going on. And that was a good time. Great catalog of songs. Oh my God!
Oh, yeah.
And how did you approach that? Following, the original singer Dave Bickler and then Jimmy Jamison, rest in peace. Did you say, I'm not going to try to emulate them, I'm going to just be Robin and do it how I do it?
That is excellent what you just said there, Vince. When Frankie offered me the gig, I said, you don't need me, you need Jimmy. Stick to what you know. It's his voice. They're his songs. That's what the people want to hear. They don't want to hear some made-up version of all of these hits. I was adamant. He was equally as adamant. He goes, no, I want you to do it. And sadly, as you know, at the end of my Survivor period, from the 5 into the 6 years, the label or the management decided, because everybody was having a reunion, to bring back in Dave and Jimmy together. I only saw Dave maybe about a month ago, actually, and his wife's not ill, so prayers to Dave's wife. They brought both of them back in, and unfortunately, Jimmy left us very soon thereafter. It wasn't my idea. Very, very, very tough shoes to fill. So I didn't try to. I did not try to fill them. The best that I could do was to keep the integrity of the songs. Try to sing them with the same melody, the same keys, and perform the song like the song. I was not Jimmy Jamison's voice. I was not Dave Bickler's voice. And that's all I could do. Frankie was happy with it. Everybody else said they were happy with it. The fans were a little sort of in the beginning, but then they grew to go, yep, the song is there.
I mean, tough shoes to fill, but you, like you said, you've always had integrity as a performer, so that's not even a question. When you saw your name attached to it, like it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest shocks was, I think I was only in the band for less than 6 months, and then I get a call from Frankie, and he goes, "We just got invited onto Dancing with the Stars," and I go, "But I don't dance," and he goes, and so I remember it was here in Hollywood. We were right across the hallway at CBS Studios from American Idol, who was coasting in the #1 slot, and we did our sound check like 6 a.m. in the morning or something like that. I was the only one live, just so you know.
Yeah.
It was just too much wheeling on and off.
Yeah.
So they ran track, and I sang to the track. And the program director, minutes in the green room, came up to me with her little clipboard, and she goes, "Oh, we just ousted American Idol out of the #1 slot, and we have 58 million viewers, and no pressure on."
No pressure.
And that is a true story. And I'm going to say it. I shit my pants. and there were a brand new pair of pants I bought for the show. So that was huge. I mean, that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy coming on here singing "Eye of the Tiger"? And I don't know if you ever saw that clip, but the dancers, the dancers came out, and they were all dressed up with boxing gloves and the shorts and the whole. It was awesome. Yeah. I mean, it was straight out of the Rocky movie. It was killer, and yeah. I don't know what more to tell you.
Well, none of us here are going to admit we watched Dancing with the Stars, so we
I'll admit it.
I figured.
See that.
I figured. Yeah.
But yeah, and today, of course, I was jamming "Big Disaster."
Oh,
great
that
song.
And your high note on that is fantastic, by the way. But the whole song is just so good.
Yeah.
So, a very, very quick story. because I talk too much. So that was the very, very first song that I wrote for Black Swan. And Reb and Jeff had sent me the music. I actually had only met Reb one time before when he was subbing on a Night Ranger gig. And Survivor we were playing sort of piggybacking. And I got to the studio, Reb and Jeff were there. And I said, hey, I got this idea for this piece of music that you sent. And it's called Big Disaster. and Reb looks at me and he goes, well, that's just great. And he goes, yeah, this is just great. This is the first song we haven't even started yet, and it's already a disaster. And I mean, you can imagine, right? Because here's Mr. Songwriter Extraordinaire. And he's got all of these hits under his belt with Winger, and McAuley comes in and he goes, by the way, dude, that music's cool. And I called it Big Disaster. And once I started sort of singing along to the track, he goes, are you kidding me? This is awesome. And the rest is part of Shake the World.
That's hilarious. Okay, so earlier you had mentioned Jeff Scott Soto, and we've had a running thing on the show because we're huge fans of Jeff. So we'd like to thank Robin McAuley for bringing the Soto report. We do this all the time. We always
We've been doing it for years,
and we're just hoping like, enough people like give him shit about it that he'll like, come on, hey guys, stop with the Soto report. But
he's such a closer anyway.
Hey, so if you next time you talk to that guy, tell him to give us a call.
Let me tell you. Listen. He owes me now.
Robin, we know you got a lot of things to do. We want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to us.
God bless you guys.
God bless you.
Absolutely.
And, thanks for dropping that yesterday, Soulbound. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Great album.
Thank
Everyone
you so
go out
much.
and pick up a copy or get a signed copy from Robin. He'll sign it for you right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
There you go.
So go to frontiers.it and all the links there for merch and everything. Grab the new album, grab a hoodie. And of course, that's Frontiers Music SRL. And we want to thank again the great Robin McAuley. Thank you,
God
sir.
bless you guys. Have a great evening. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
very
Robin.
much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
We'll
Bye-bye.
see each other. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.